Now, Tamil Nadu will have its liquor shops open post-Thursday, post-May 7th, but Chennai, which has seen a sudden spike of COVID-19 cases, will not have any booze outlets open. The decision was taken by Chief Minister Edappadi Palaniswamy, who met with top Chennai civic and health officials to make this decision, considering it's a hotspot. Tamil Nadu has seen over 3,500 cases so far. DMK Chief M.K. Stalin and MNM Chief Kamal Hassan both have slammed the Chief Minister for allowing liquor to be sold post-May 7, saying that crowding will only increase the spread of COVID-19. Stalin said that no responsible government would open liquor shops as it will lead to mass gatherings and virus threat. Kamal Hassan also hitting out at the state government, saying that wrong steps call for danger to lives. Here is the opposition, in fact, attacking the government of Tamil Nadu for allowing liquor shops to be open. And right after criticism coming in and, of course, a meeting with officials in Chennai, the Chief Minister has now taken a decision that the liquor shops will be open everywhere else in Tamil Nadu except for in Chennai, where Chennai has seen at least over 1,700 odd cases, positive cases. Chennai is a hotspot, and considering that this is a containment zone, Chennai will not have liquor shops opened up. But several other TASMAC shops across Tamil Nadu will remain open post the 7th of May. Let's go over to Shalini Lobo joining us. Shalini, after opposition's heavy criticism, Tamil Nadu government now making a decision not to sell liquor in Chennai, but every other district across Tamil Nadu will sell liquor post May 7th.
Well, indeed, Nabila, yesterday in the evening, as the Tamil Nadu government released the order to open TASMACs, the government-run liquor stores, starting May 7th, there was huge clamor from the opposition. All of them slammed the Edappadi Palaniswamy government. This was DMK chief, Kamal Hassan, KS Arigiri of the Congress, Ramadas of the PMK, Balakrishnan of the CPM. All of them slammed the state government for opening up liquor shops on May 7th. As the decision communicated, but today in the morning we got in news by the state government authorities that in Chennai, given that Chennai has crossed the 1,700 mark, they will not open the liquor stores in the district of Chennai, but across other districts in non-containment zones, TASMACs will be allowed to operate. Of course, there are certain rules in place. The timings of the TASMACs will be from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Only 5 customers to go to a TASMAC and stand in queue at a given point of time. Those 5 people should keep a distance of 6 feet between them. All of them should wear masks. The TASMAC shops, also the employees there have to wear masks, they have to wear gloves, and they can also hire additional workforce if required. However, the trade union of the TASMAC, which supports the left, they have put out a statement requesting the government to reconsider the decision, saying that it will be difficult for people to maintain social distancing in front of a TASMAC. And of course, the bars that are attached to the TASMAC, they will remain shut. Now, another reason the government has decided to open the TASMACs in the state of Tamil Nadu is because yesterday, while the neighboring states opened up, there was movement that was observed from Tamil Nadu where people walked across the borders, stood in line and bought alcohol. The government is also trying to restrict this movement.
Right, Charlie, we do know that people there are queuing up outside liquor shops despite this lockdown only to get their hand on their share of liquor, despite the heat and this virus threat. Now, alcohol rates have shot up in Delhi after Kejriwal government imposed a steep 70% corona tax on the sale of liquor. Day after chaotic scenes, mad rush at alcohol shops and a rap from the centre, the Delhi government has now imposed additional tax only to deter people from gathering right outside. The changed price of booze kicked in today after the late night order. On the second day long, in fact, even today, despite the sweltering heat, we're looking at people queuing up, serpentine queues outside liquor shops, not deterring them one bit despite the price hike. Yesterday, cops had to resort to lathi charge to close down some alcohol shops as well, only owing to the unruly crowds, which completely broke social distancing norms, and many of them gathering in groups. In fact, many such shops remain shut even today due to this crowding that happened yesterday. Delhi police were quite strict in ensuring social distancing was maintained. Remember, at least 6 feet distance need to be maintained, and even token system is being mulled over in several of these areas. In neighbouring Haryana, booze shops stayed closed as owners demanded relaxation in fee and taxes. West Bengal will also open up liquor shops today with restrictions, of course. Liquor sale is proving to be quite a windfall for cash-strapped governments battling this pandemic. Andhra, just like Delhi, has hiked liquor prices by 75% and saw sales worth 68 crores on Monday. Remember, Karnataka also saw in just a day liquor sales of 45 crores, while Lucknow saw sales of liquor of 100 crores in just one day.
It's the second day after the wine shops are being kept open. We are in South Mumbai area. This is the fourth area where you can see long queues outside this particular wine shop, and people are buying huge quantity of liquor over here. But the most important part over here is that people are not following the social distancing norms. You can see Mumbai police officials also present over here. They are here continuously appealing to the people that they should follow the lockdown rules, the social distancing rules, but people are not listening at all. Now, look at the long queues over here. You can see it's a never-ending queue over here, and not just at one side, but the people are present on the other side of the road as well. Cops are present over here, some of the volunteers are present over here, but look at the huge crowd over here. Lot of chaotic situation. The cops are continuously asking them maintain safe distance, but you can see there is no one following the social distance norm. And now here at this particular wine shop, look at this, at this particular counter, how there is a huge crowd present to buy alcohol. With camera person Samir Shanbag, this is Saurabh Akhtania in Mumbai for India Today.
We're at Khyber Pass liquor vend at civil lines, where from 6 a.m. the line started forming, and right now, as you can see, a huge crowd has gathered. Yesterday, the SHO civil lines shut down this liquor vend within half an hour of opening because the crowd went out of control. And even today, it is very clear that simple things such as wearing a mask or maintaining social distancing is something people are not doing. They are trying, some people, the volunteers, are trying to get people to maintain social distancing, but nobody is listening. With cameraman Nasir Khan, this is Anisha Mathur for India Today.
Long queues were witnessed outside liquor shops in Lucknow when the shops opened for the first time yesterday since the lockdown has come into effect. But today at liquor shops, you can see that the situation is completely normal. There are no queues, only one or two people can be seen here at the liquor shops. However, circles have been made to ensure that people who come to buy liquor maintain social distancing. Yesterday, police was deployed here to control the situation because there was long queue, but today the situation is completely under control. There is no crowd outside this liquor shop. The situation is completely normal. However, the liquor shop owners and the salesmen are saying that yesterday people bought liquor in huge quantity to stock up, so that is why today we are not seeing queues outside the liquor shops here. In Lucknow, with camera person Sanjay Singh, Nilanshu Shukla for India Today.
Now, amid the coronavirus lockdown, Delhi government has decided to raise prices of diesel and petrol as well. The state government has increased diesel prices by at least 7.110 per litre and by 1.67 rupees for petrol per litre. This after the Delhi government faces a major cash crunch due to this COVID-19 outbreak. And of course, it also looks like a means to deter people from stepping out as well. Now, in a boost to its income, the state government has resorted to increasing these prices of certain commodities, including petrol as well as diesel, along with, of course, alcohol prices. The price of fuel has increased as the VAT on petrol has also raised from 27% to 30%. Diesel has now been raised from 16.75% to 30%. Petrol prices in Delhi rose from 71.26 a litre. It's now 71.26 a litre, while diesel prices have climbed to 69.39 a litre. Meanwhile, Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia has defended the price hike, saying tough situations call for tough solutions.
Right after the hike in liquor shop, the Delhi government has also hiked the petrol and diesel prices. The petrol prices have hiked from 1.67 rupees, and the diesel prices have hiked till 7.10 rupees. Now, in the midst of the lockdown, what is the reaction of a common man? So, the Delhi government has hiked the prices of petrol and diesel in the middle of the lockdown. How do you feel about it?
It's ridiculous. I don't agree with it. People don't have income. Offices have just opened. People are not getting the salaries. How can they increase it? The government should have thought of the common people.
Just before this, there was a hike in liquor shop,
Right.
the liquor rates. Now the Delhi state government has hiked the petrol and diesel prices. In the midst of the lockdown, when people are not going to the offices,
Right.
people are losing their job. What is your concern?
See, this is not the right way to increase the revenues. This is not the right way to increase revenues. They could have taxed something else, not petrol every time.
So, in the middle of the lockdown, when people are losing their job, there is no source of income. And when the crude prices are lowering down in the entire world, definitely it will raise a question why the state government have hiked the prices of petrol and diesel. With camera person Pawan Kumar, it's Divanshu for India Today.
We do understand the concerns, but this is tough measures that the respective governments are taking. Of course, many concerns need to be addressed at the same time. The first of which India is now addressing is that several Indians who are stranded across the globe are now going to be evacuated in a phased manner. A mammoth exercise of evacuating lakhs of them across the globe has started. 60 international flights will be operated from Thursday for a week to evacuate Indians stranded in 12 countries, including the United States, the United Kingdom, East and West Asian nations. These flights will land in 10 states, including Delhi, Maharashtra, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, UP, Karnataka and Jammu and Kashmir. For air travel, commercial flights will be arranged and made available on payment basis. 3 naval ships, INS Jalashwa, INS Magar and INS Shardul are reaching Dubai and Maldives to evacuate stranded Indians. In total, 14 naval warships will be used to bring back stranded Indians to India. All passengers will be screened before flights and only asymptomatic passengers would be allowed to step in. After arriving, passengers will have to download the Arogya Setu app and fresh screening will be followed with a compulsory 14-day quarantine period, again on payable basis. Going over to Paulmi joining us for more on this. Paulmi, we're looking at least 60 flights that have been arranged to evacuate stranded Indians from across the globe. Naval ships also that have taken off to bring back Indians from UAE and Maldives. What more do we know? How long will these international flights be ferrying to bring back Indians?
Well, Nabila, this is going to be a phased plan which will be executed starting May 7th when the first flights will leave from the UAE. The first flight which the Indian Embassy in Dubai has confirmed will be from Abu Dhabi to Kochi in Kerala. And then, of course, the second flight on the very same day going from Dubai to Kozhikode in Kerala again. So this is the plan so far. We've accessed the plan which we know of from May 7th to the 14th, the 1-week plan. Flight plan which has been made as of now. 12 countries feature on that plan from where Indians will be evacuated again, depending on compelling reasons. So anyone with medical reasons, pregnant women, those stranded, depending on the reasons and the grounds for them to be evacuated, depending on the compelling reasons, they will be evacuated. From the plan that we've accessed, there are at least 2,000 Indians who will be evacuated on a daily basis from various countries. So in the 1-week plan that we have accessed, what we can see is that at least 15,000 Indians will be evacuated from the Gulf region, which includes the UAE and Kuwait and Bahrain and Qatar as well. It includes the United Kingdom, the USA, it includes Philippines, Singapore, Malaysia, and Bangladesh. And these will These Indians will be flown to 10 different states in India,
Right.
in Kerala, in Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, JNK, UP, Delhi NCR. So there are several states to which they will be flown to. This is the 1 week plan, but there will be similar such flight plans which will be put together between the Ministry of Civil Aviation and the Ministry of External Affairs as we go
Thank you
forward.
very
Meetings
much.
are constantly
We're
happening
hoping that
at
these
the moment
Indians
as
come
we
back soon enough. They're waiting to get to their homes. Several of them left worried. But remember, only emergency cases will be catered to at first, and subsequently the others will be brought in. Thank you, Paulmi, for joining us. Now, at a time when states are sending out migrant labourers to their native villages, many of them are going back to their hometowns in special trains. Karnataka government seems to be doing something very opposite. Karnataka Revenue Minister R. Ashoka has hinted at keeping the migrant workforce where they are in the state itself in a bid to jumpstart the economy soon enough. R. Ashoka said that the Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa will likely have a meeting with Private Real Estate Developers Association, urging them to resume construction activities at least immediately. So the migrants are kept in the state only. The minister made these remarks after migrants from UP and Bihar protested on Tumkuru Road last evening, demanding for them to be given a special train to go home. In fact, many of these migrants have condemned the government and respective companies for not paying their daily wages, for not giving them, accommodating them with food and water. Several allegations they're floating against those authorities who are manning these migrant laborers. In fact, now R. Ashoka has said that they should be accommodated in the state itself because they want to jumpstart the economy soon enough. At least 6 trains from Karnataka carrying workers have already set off to Bihar and Jharkhand, Odisha and Rajasthan since Sunday. But now it seems like the Karnataka government thinking twice to send them back.
ಅವರ ರಾಜ್ಯದವರ ಅನುಮತಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ನಾವು ಕಳಿಸಿದ್ರು ಕೂಡ ಅವರು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಕ್ವಾರಂಟೈನ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು 14 ದಿನ ಕ್ವಾರಂಟೈನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ ಅವರು ಸೊ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಇನ್ನ ಆ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಆ ರಾಜ್ಯದವರು ಇನ್ನೂ ಒಪ್ಪಿಗೆಯನ್ನ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ ಅವರು ಆ ರಾಜ್ಯದವರು ಒಪ್ಪಿಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ ಅದು ಬಹಳ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಆ ರಾಜ್ಯದವರು ಇನ್ನೂ ಒಪ್ಪಿಗೆಯನ್ನ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ ಇವ್ರು ಬರೋವಂಥದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವರ ಒಪ್ಪಿಗೆ ಬರೋವರೆಗೂ ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಕಳ್ಸೋಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅದು ಬಹಳ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಇವತ್ತಿರುವಂಥದ್ದು ಅದರಿಂದ ಆ ರಾಜ್ಯದವರು ಒಪ್ಪಿಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟ ತಕ್ಷಣ ನಾವು ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ವಾಪಸ್ ಅವರ ರಾಜ್ಯಗಳಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಕಳಿಸ್ತೀವಿ ಅದುವರೆಗೂ ಅವ್ರು ಶಾಂತತೆಯಿಂದ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು ಆ ಕ್ಯಾಂಪ್ಗಳಲ್ಲೇ ಇರಬೇಕು ಅವರಿಗೆ ಉದ್ಯೋಗ ಮತ್ತು ಊಟ ಕೊಡುವಂಥ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆಯನ್ನು ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.